Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that started off as dueling street preachers. And we haven't gotten better from there, I gotta be honest.
No, I mean, what is podcasting but the natural evolution of, like, an unhinged man yelling his opinions at you from the street side? You know,
it's really not that different, except now we're even further ostracized from our own audience.
You know, our audience grows smaller but closer together with every passing day. Eventually, we will have a core honor guard of 15 to 20 people who are willing to die for us.
I hope so. That would be good numbers for us.
Yeah, no, that would be a massive improvement.
I would love that. I would love that. At least, you know, the nice thing about this is I don't have to have anybody in the flesh acknowledge that I, you know, watch anime.
No, you've successfully kept the number of people who know that fact directly about you to a minimum, which is the safe thing to do.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I just to mention it, I did wear the Dan to Dan shirt that you brought back from Japan for me.
Oh, he does care,
I
people.
wore it out.
He likes me.
I needed to leave the house for 2 seconds, so I threw it on, swam around in it. You bought the largest t-shirt for sale in Japan.
I tried to explain this to you. They only had extra small through large. I assumed that they were going by the well-known fact that Japanese sizes are smaller. So I got a large, thinking it would be the equivalent of like an American medium. I was wrong.
No need to explain yourself. No need to explain yourself. The point being, when I got to the counter at the place I was buying some drugs. And I got to the counter, and I was, you know, put the drugs on the counter. And the girl working there said, "Oh, Dan to Dan."
And you had a cold shiver run through your spine.
Yes. I was like, I'm never coming back here again.
You slipped up for just 1 fucking second.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows.
Yeah. And I knew this place too, because like in the parking lot, there's always cars with anime stickers. So, you know, I had the feeling for it, but I after immediately deciding I'm never coming back, I was interested in gauging where she was at. So I found it interesting. We talked about this very briefly, and she name checked, and I find this a good temperature gauge for anime right now. She name checked Dan to Dan, Free Ren,
sure,
Chainsaw Man,
yeah,
and Dungeon Meshi.
I mean, yeah, those are,
yeah.
I mean, they're all really good titles, you know, like, good on her. That's good taste. No complaints right there.
I mean, I'm taking this small anecdote to, I'm going to generalize that over the entirety of America. And I feel like 4 dominant shows, those are pretty good as far as incredibly popular anime right now.
Yeah.
Now, I do think, I don't want to sound like a male feminist at the moment, but I do think women have better taste in anime.
Generally, yes. And we've known this for a long time.
For the reason we're going to get into later. We will be revisiting that particular subject in a little bit. But I did find that interesting. I think that's a good, just taking the pulse. Those are, as far as 4 dominant anime, that's pretty good. That's a good lineup.
I mean, I would say the only one on that list that I am surprised is Dungeon Meshi, which incredibly popular, you know, had a great anime from Studio Trigger, season 1. I don't think, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between popularity of the manga versus the popularity of the anime.
Well, she said she does not read manga, so.
Okay. All right. It was a Netflix production, so, you know, I wouldn't consider it as big as the other 3 in that list, but it's up there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
If it sits on the Netflix homepage for a while, it's going to be up there.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. So that's, you know, not a bad sign, both of the zeitgeist and the fact that all of those are like current titles that are still have stuff to be produced. You know?
Yeah. But also, now, this is the thing. Sitting on the front page of Netflix, this is kind of the big unifier here. Which brings me to something I have to address from last episode. You lied to me about One Piece. You made me look like a fool in front of the One Piece fans.
What do you mean, Remy? I don't know what you could be talking about.
Well, I sat down to, watch new Jojo, of course. You
Yes.
know I was going to be there day one.
Obviously.
So I got all snuggled in. I was ready for a fucking binge, a good old classic Netflix binge. I watched the first episode, and then it just ended. Turns out they're doing like a weekly release.
Yeah.
Maybe even not a weekly release because it turns out they didn't release a new episode.
Well, for the intro episode is like an extra long special. It was like almost an hour long.
Yeah, but then they skipped the next week, so
Yeah.
But immediately crushed and disappointed. I had blocked out this time to watch all of
Well,
JoJo.
I think that's because one of the things that people hated about Stone Ocean was that it got batch releases instead of weekly.
I did not hate that.
You liked that.
I like that. I'm good with that. That's fine with me.
Okay.
I don't need to be in the conversation around JoJo because JoJo's good and you're not going to convince me. I don't need to hear anybody else's opinion, whether they like it or don't like it. I know what JoJo is. I'm in. It doesn't matter. But you did lie to me about One Piece. So I was sitting there in front of Netflix. I said, fuck it. I'll just watch the One Piece. I was prepared to watch a shit ton of JoJo. Now I'm disappointed and I'm sad. I'll just put on One Piece. This seems like the right attitude to go in to One Piece season 2.
Already like embittered with disappointment. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll fucking watch this, I guess.
Yeah, rolling off the back of something good that I really like, going into this. And first of all, and this is a big one, you said they skipped the Giants on Little Garden. They did not skip the Giants. There were big-ass giants in there.
Oh, shit. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
You totally zoned out for that entire episode.
Well, I was watching it the way Netflix recommends you watch their content, which is, passively in the background while you doom scroll on your phone. That's the intended viewing experience. Were you not doing that?
Big. I was not doing that.
Oh, well, you watched it wrong.
It's possible.
You weren't actually supposed to be paying attention. You realize that, right?
Yes, I did realize that because as I paid more and more attention, more and more things I did not like about it stood out to me. And these are things I couldn't talk about last time because I had not watched any and you had.
Okay, all
right. There's
right.
a couple of things that you didn't bring up, and I just want to touch on them very briefly.
Okay, we're doing your list of grievances.
It's a very small things. This is just basically the kind of shit that everybody else talks about already, so I don't want to go super deep into it. But I have to say, it is, of all the changes, I mean, broad structural stuff, even if they had skipped the Giants, not that kind of stuff I don't think would bother me very much because I understand what adaptations are and what their purpose is and what they have to do to fit things in. What bothers me are the smaller choices that don't help or hinder in either way. They're just wrong. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're just choices they made that are bizarre and wrong. And I know this has been beaten to death, but maybe I wasn't paying as close attention as I could have, but I think I counted Sanji smoking a cigarette one time in the entire season.
Oh, well, don't you know smoking is for squares?
Then have him never smoke. But he did smoke, but he only did it one time. And I think this is very representative of a lot of the bad choices they make overall. Because why hint at something if you're not actually going to do it? Who is that for?
I don't know. I think that they were left in a difficult place because obviously someone at some point said hey, we got to tone down on the smoking. That didn't test well. And instead of doing the 4Kids edit version where they just have him sucking on a lollipop the entire time. You remember that?
Yes, which I would have preferred, honestly.
You would have preferred that.
To nothing? Yes, I would have.
Okay.
To not doing anything at all? Yes. Yes, I absolutely would have preferred that.
So you're upset that he didn't smoke enough, even though he did actually smoke that cigarette.
One time, yes.
Okay.
I want you to not fence sit. I need you to like pick a side, you know?
Okay.
And this applies actually to a lot of the visual characteristics of the entire crew, actually, because we constantly throughout this season get tiny visual references to what the characters look like in the manga, but they never commit to that. I mean, it starts with small things like little changes to Luffy's outfit.
Hey, what was up with those like Kingdom Hearts suspender things that he's got on his pants? Did you notice those?
Yes, I did. I don't know what the deal is with his pants. His jorts that he wears sometimes, the khaki shorts he wears sometimes.
Hey, Oda, I know that you listen to us. What's up with his pants? Get back to me.
Yeah, what's going on there?
What's going on?
I don't understand. And there were constant costume strange decisions there. Like, I would not mind if Sanji just wore his suit all the time. We could just have him in his costume.
Well, it gets very hot at sea. Like you can't just wear a suit all the time on a boat.
Oh, I forgot
That's
that they're
unrealistic.
actually literally on a boat for the entire shoot, and they take the crew's comfort into consideration during the costuming process.
Well, yeah, no, not many people realize that, but everything was filmed on set. No practical effects. They went to the Grand Line to film all of this. This is all real.
It's all real.
It's all real.
No,
Yes.
you don't understand. It's all real.
It's all real. You got to believe me.
Well, see, that's the other thing is I feel like we have more fidelity with the one-off or side characters than we do with our main crew.
Yeah.
I did notice sometimes our crew is wearing outfits that reference the specific like non-canon cover art that Oda does. He does promo art of the characters in various like alternate, I guess alternate dimension, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Promo art where they're gangsters and shit like that.
yeah. I love alternate costume art.
Yeah.
Akira Toriyama was the absolute greatest at that. Some of those old like 90s Dragon Ball streetwear drip that he drew, like that is the fucking shit.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I love it. And Oda does a bunch of really great ones. But I like that they reference some of those. I think that's fine. I wish it had contrasted with them just wearing their canonical outfits. I don't understand why we didn't do that. I really don't get that choice because a lot of times they wear costumes that completely obscure who they are in terms of the manga. I think Sanji is the worst offender. He constantly wears shit that like does not look like Sanji at all. And it doesn't help that he also doesn't act like Sanji at all. They made the correct decision to be like, well, Sanji is like insanely unlikable and he's like a huge misogynist jerk and he would be an extremely annoying screen presence if we played him straight. So they change him, right?
Yeah. No, it's objectively correct.
Yes. But without the other visual markers of what Sanji is, we just end up with a guy who has Sanji's name. It's very strange. It's genuinely very strange. I really don't know what to make of it.
I mean,
we just have the Straw Hats and then this guy who's supposed to be Sanji.
I have no real attachment, or history with how these characters are supposed to be in the manga. So it's not as grating to me, obviously. By far my biggest issue if we're talking about crew performances, like I said last time, was Zoro, and the actor playing him is I don't know if he's doing the one-dimensional like read on every line intentionally as a bit or not.
No, I think he is. I just think that the cat, like I said on the last episode, I think he's doing the right performance. He's just not the right person to do that performance.
Well, yeah, he needs to be older. But as to what you said about Sanji, from what I know of the character, he's like you said, a huge sexist and like just uncomfortably, he's like the wolf whistle horn dog character. That's his shtick.
Yes, and as everybody who's a One Piece fan knows, that we do pass through Sanji being deeply transphobic for like a pretty long period of time. It's incredibly uncomfortable reading it now. It's so like that's so far in the future that like the show's never going to get there. But it's Sanji is he is a. I mean, problematic is a word you could use.
Yeah,
it feels insufficient for what Sanji is most of the time.
Yeah, it lacks a certain punch to what he really is. But like I said, I have not been reading the manga for 20 years. I don't have an attachment to that. So whatever this Sanji is in the show, is not the most compelling character, but
this is your Sanji.
Yeah, this is my Sanji.
I think it's indicative of some problems that are endemic.
Yeah.
And one of the bigger ones is, again, watching the rest of the season, I really could not stop thinking about what we said about Luffy's performance, which is that like he's not mean. He's not mean enough ever.
No. Luffy is kind of like he's a dumb guy, first and foremost. Not to disparage him.
Iñaki does the dumb guy thing, the happy-go-lucky dumb guy thing. But like, for instance, the big highlight of this season is meeting Chopper. Recruiting Chopper is the end of the season. And there's like a recurring gag that happens throughout this arc where Luffy wants to eat Chopper.
Because he's a reindeer?
Because Luffy wants to eat creatures.
He wants to eat meat. But
yeah, he wants to eat meat. And he sees this weird little thing, and he keeps going, I want to eat him. I want to eat that. That's a joke that happens a lot in the manga here at this point in the story. And they could not bring themselves to do that gag because Luffy has to be, for the version that they're portraying, Luffy has to be very, very likable.
But he's, the show Luffy is leaning very heavily into the, shonen optimism side of his character. He is an inspiration. He is the character that is an inspiration to everybody that he meets. That's how he gathers up his crew.
Yes, of course.
He's a likable, little scamp. Is the best way I can describe it. But what you're saying is...
they touch on this. What I'm saying is, they touch on this. There's a moment which happens kind of throughout the manga every once in a while. I don't remember it happening so early. But where one of the he's describing their journey, and one of the side characters says, oh, so it sounds like you go from island to island doing good. And Luffy goes, am I?
Yeah, I don't know, I guess.
I'm just being a pirate. And that's that is a big part of Luffy, is that he's not like, he never thinks of himself as a good person or like as a do-gooder. He never seems to intentionally be like solving people's problems because he wants to do the right thing. He thinks of himself as a ruthless pirate.
Yeah, which from an audience perspective is objectively untrue, especially compared to some of the other pirates that he encounters, during the journey.
He is a pure boy who follows his heart in all instances.
But that's a way to say it. I was going to say that more than anything, manga Luffy, he follows his base instinct with wherever that leads him.
Yes. He's libidinal.
Yeah.
Except for when it comes to sex, he is completely asexual.
Yeah, no, he just cares about doing pirate shit and eating meat. Like, that's the two things.
Yeah, but where it comes into play is that Luffy enjoys violence. Now, he ends up doing righteous violence because he tends to piss off the bad guys, because this is a manga. It's exactly what it is.
But he likes fighting.
But he likes beating the shit out of people. He enjoys it. He never has any qualms about hurting other human beings. Like, he really likes getting into fights. And that is hard to portray here. Iñaki has a hard time portraying that side of him. The like, sneering, like, ready to fuck up somebody part.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, in this season, we get to the big boss fight, and it's totally deflated because it just doesn't read correctly because we don't have the right kind of Luffy to gleefully beat the shit out of somebody. It really drives home, like, how difficult of a time they're having portraying, like, the correct versions of who these people are.
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be hard because obviously they are trying to portray cartoon characters, and I mean that in the most literal sense because we've talked about how Luffy is a Looney Tunes character. You know, it's like it's the same difficulty. It's like, how do you portray a live action Bugs Bunny? Like, you can't really do that.
Jim Carrey did.
Jim Carrey's a special case, okay?
Yes, he's a special case. Sure. Okay. The one thing I did want to say.
Now I'm thinking about like 18-year-old Jim Carrey playing Luffy in an adaptation.
Yeah, he was the rubber face man, right?
Yeah.
The last thought here, like I said, it was weird about the central cast, how like there's just this off feeling about them. A lot of the side characters are like unnaturally authentic and faithful. It's actually very striking how faithful the B cast is for like all of this stuff. They did a really good job portraying kind of like the lesser characters.
Yeah, the Baroque Works guys.
Well, yeah, and a bunch of the other supporting cast this season. Like a lot of them are really, really good and very accurate. Like really good casting. You know, the lighthouse worker guy, whose name I always forget, is great. He's fantastic. He has to act with that stupid thing on his head, but he's completely great.
Oh, are you talking about my boy? David Desmalchian?
No, the lighthouse keeper.
Oh, the lighthouse keeper from The Whale.
But
right, yes.
Yes, David Desmalchian is good, though, and I think he definitely nails what that character is. I do think he should wear glasses, but whatever.
I mean, I just got confused because there's so many characters with weird shit on their head in this season.
Yeah, and it works. I think it's good. I think they do a good job with the hair. Specifically so the big piece of this season is the Chopper backstory episode.
Yeah.
And tearjerker backstories is like the beating heart of One Piece. It's like the engine that drives all of One Piece is bleeding heart, tearjerker backstories.
Yeah, really got to ram that pathos in, you know?
Yeah, and Oda has like a supernatural sense of how to put those things together really well. He's just really, really good at it. And he does it constantly. He never stops doing it. He does it for every character.
I mean, if you're good at something...
Well, that's what people like. I mean, like I said, this whole series is wrestling. It's just wrestling promos. Just constantly cutting wrestling promos. But the Chopper backstory is really good, and they do it all in one episode. And it's a really good episode. Like, it is the most faithful to the manga that I think this series has ever tried to be narratively. And maybe that's just because it's a good way to do it. You encapsulate one of these backstories into like one episode. You can tell an entire narrative without having to like work in all the other bullshit that's happening around it.
Yeah.
I find that to be probably the strongest thing they ever do is when they do stuff like that. And Chopper's backstory episode is so much better than everything else that happens in this season. It's kind of unfortunate that most people have to go this deep into this fucking show before they see the best part of the whole season. But I do want to give it up. Like, it's good. They get absolutely straight to the heart of what makes that story interesting and like heartwarming and sad and like meaningful. And I think it really shines a light on what's wrong with the rest of One Piece live action, because in that backstory, they do not wink at us at all. They play it so straight and heartfelt and emotional, like high melodrama style, right?
Yeah.
Not winking, ironic, sarcastic, post Marvel superhero bullshit.
Well, I think that's a strength of both this season and the first season. There's very little, lamp shading going on. They are playing it as straight as they possibly can.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think they're in the regular episodes. I think there is a lot of like winking and ironic.
I didn't pick that
happening.
up. Maybe again, I wasn't paying attention, which is how you're supposed to
attention.
Which is how you're supposed to watch the series. You were actually watching what was on the screen, which is your first mistake.
Yeah, I was watching and I have read all of this stuff. You should read all this stuff and then come back to this. What I'm saying is that episode, the Chopper backstory episode, feels unique to the other content because no matter how bizarre looking the costumes get, no matter how stupid it is, the Chopper is like the thing that all of this stuff is happening to, they play it deadly seriously. And that's what makes it work. Like that instead of fighting against it, they go with the flow and it absolutely works. Now, of course, the horrifying little Chopper freak is in the whole episode, and I'm deeply uncomfortable with that. I'm sorry, Chopper shouldn't have human teeth. I thought we all learned the Sonic lesson like 5 years ago, but maybe that's even more of a testament for the episode that like even with human teeth Chopper, like I was still moved by a story I've already read probably twice now, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like that story still moves me. It's like machine perfect. And I just wish they had the courage to like do that with every other part of this show. Sometimes they do, and it's nice, and you can really like read it clearly. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they back off. They kind of lose their nerve, and they try to like wink at us or do some kind of twist. Specifically, characters like Zoro or Nami or Sanji, our main cast. They do the stupid thing that I hate from all superhero movies where they make fun of a character's costume for being ridiculous. Now, you know this because you did see the episode with the guy in the king hat.
Yeah, they do make fun of his little crown.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right.
They do stuff like that, and I hate that in everything. Everybody in the show looks ridiculous. That's part of the world. It's normal. That is a backing off of the source material because you're uncomfortable with how it looks on the screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is, I think, the feedback reason why the cast doesn't always look like they do on the page. Why they always have to kind of like pull back from being comic accurate when it comes to the main cast's outfit.
They do the Marvel like dress it down with texture and muted colors thing.
Yes, they do the first X-Men movie where all the characters wear black cat suits.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Oh, what'd you expect? Yellow spandex?
Yeah. Hey, that sucks. That fucking sucks. Yes. Put Hugh Jackman in the fucking yellow spandex. Do it. I want to see that shit. Give him the fucking crazy hair. I want to see it. You're going to make this movie and you're not going to give him the crazy hair? Fuck you. Anyway, that's One Piece.
Oh man, I'm just looking at the model for Tony Chopper again, and goddamn, what an ugly little thing.
Yeah, it's awful. I just truly terrible.
All
and
right.
Also, like, they never do the nitpickiest nitpicky thing, and I know why they cut it for time, but they did get rid of the were rabbits, and that sucks. You could have put one were rabbit in.
Just one. A Night of the Lepus.
At least one.
Just one Night of the Lepus.
Yeah. Why the fuck did you skip that? That's cool.
Okay, is that our post-mortem on
Yes.
One Piece Season 2?
That's all I got. I mean,
Okay.
I got plenty other stuff, but that's what I had to get out.
All right, let's shift gears and go back to something that we both actually really enjoyed. You mentioned it earlier, but we got new Jojo.
We got Jojo.
Jojo has landed.
And this is the fan favorite arc. We got Steel Ball Run.
Steel Ball Run.
We finally got there. Now we've wrapped back around. We're doing another Johnny. We went from Jonathan to Johnny. We're doing it, people.
Johnny's the cool younger one. He rides a horse. He's got that cool hat.
Well, ride.
What do you mean? He is riding that horse.
I mean, he's on top of the horse.
Are you being ableist right now?
I don't want to be ableist, but he's collaborating with a horse.
Yeah, he works very closely with the horse.
Yes. Now, this is something that I'm very glad Netflix is doing, because usually what they would do is, like, I don't know, divert the money into, let's say, Devil May Cry Season 2. Whereas if they were smart, they would take the money away from Devil May Cry Season 2 and give it to Studio David to make even more JoJo.
Make even more JoJo. Okay, so first of all,
but at least
Netflix,
they did this, JoJo.
Netflix is not paying David Productions. You know, they're just the distributor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Take the money away from Devil May Cry Season 2 and give it to David Productions so they can make more JoJo.
I mean, it would be money better spent than on weird CGI Tony Chopper. I'll give you that.
Yes. And more specifically, Devil May Cry Season 2.
Yeah. Well, we don't like that.
I need to make it clear.
No one's talking more about Devil May Cry and any potential extra seasons that it's getting. We're over it.
I just
done.
need to make it clear that there should not be a Devil May Cry Season 2.
There shouldn't have been a Season 1.
They spent. There shouldn't have been a Season 1, but after seeing Season 1, there definitely shouldn't have been a Season 2.
Anyway, moving on. They did spend some money to bring us Steel Ball Run, which I'm just gonna say, first episode fucking killed it. Looks great, sounds great. I was very impressed, especially since the widely discussed production issues with Stone Ocean, which is where David Productions took the money that should have gone to JoJo and for some reason put it towards the Cells at Work movie, which I guess was a big hit. I didn't watch it.
Yep, people do like that Cells at Work. I don't really get it. JoJo's better than Cells at Work. I think we can all agree.
So, if anyone wonders why Stone Ocean looks the way it does and why we got it in batch releases instead of, weekly, it's because of Cells at Work, and you should direct your hate there.
Yes, everybody hates Cells at Work. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Steel Ball Run.
No. By all accounts, they're going all in on this season. It's one of their big projects.
This is, like I said before, this is the fan favorite. People really, really like Steel Ball Run. I think because it brings back all of our favorites, our favorite legacy characters, right? I mean, in episode 1, we have Jonathan's back. We have Gyro Zappelli. He's back. We've got Dio. Dio is back in the mix.
Dio's back, baby.
This is all very good stuff. We are off to a great start. We've got the fan favorites back. I love seeing Dio. Mm-hmm. Dio's so great. He's a snotty little punk in this one, but it's still good.
His little aerodynamic jockey pants,
yes,
very funny joke. I'm just gonna say
his jumpers.
Yeah, his little plane pants. That's that.
Yeah, they're very good. I like that his name is on his hat.
The confidence to wear a hat with your name emblazoned in gold atop of it.
Yeah.
Or Zappelli's grill, his gold grill.
His grill is so great. It's so funny that he's like a dumb asshole who has his own name on his grill, his golden teeth. I love that Diego, his name is Diego Brando, by the way. He's a Dio Brando. He is Diego Brando in this version. But he came from London?
Well, the original Dio, didn't he? They were all little British boys. That was the point of the...
Yes. But he was not named Diego. Perhaps the canonical Spanish name?
Well, if you remember, in the very first chapter of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where we get the backstory between the Joestar family and Dio's father, Dio's father is named Diego Brando.
Yes, that also doesn't make sense for an Englishman.
Well, what, you think people from Italy can't live in England? You think they didn't have open borders?
No, England is Protestant. Italy is Catholic. They're bitter rivals.
There are very famously lots of Catholics in England. They had several wars about it.
Yeah. And then the king changed his mind very famously. It's a pretty big deal. Anyway, it's just funny that
I'm so fucking sick of discussing Catholicism on the show with you.
I know. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Believe me. It's just great that he's Diego. Diego Brando is here. They all call him Dio because it's written on his head. He's an awesome character. I think it's fun that Araki resets the universe. I think that's just a fun thing to do. I don't have a problem with it like some people do. It's just a fun, weird thing. Anybody can do, by the way. Anybody, if you have a long-running series.
Yeah, anybody. Just off the top of my head, somebody like Tatsuki Fujimoto can just do it, You can just do it.
Just do it. It doesn't matter. You can just do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people don't do it more.
Well, I mean, people do it.
Not enough people do it. This is going to be a fun one. I think what's good about this is much like Josuke's season, there's a very clear beginning and end, like a propulsive narrative device. That's what a race is, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly clear what is going to happen in this season. It's just fun to quite literally go along for the ride. Josuke's season is very fun because it's a murder mystery, right? We know that format, so we kind of like have fun just rolling around with it. Some of the other seasons are a lot less defined.
I don't know.
In terms of what is supposed to be happening.
I think that probably the messiest season, in my opinion, is either Stone Ocean or Battle Tendency. Battle Tendency definitely got a little spread out at certain points. It's like, what are we doing?
Battle Tendency is really all over the place.
Yeah.
And, it's the next part of a...
It's like, oh, we're fighting vampires again. No, actually, or zombies.
There's like ancient evil.
No, now we're fighting Nazis. Now we're fighting ancient, sexy stone men. Those sexy stone men.
Those sexy stone men. And I think Golden Wind kind of is a little all over the place because what is he... Wait, all he says is he wants to be a gang star. We don't really know what that means. He wants to lead a La Familia, kind of formless.
The whole Giorno's motivation is very amorphous, ambiguous, and isn't really the point of that story. The point is really of Diavolo trying to kill his daughter. That's the plot propellant in that season.
Yeah, something that doesn't really even become clarified until near the end.
Yeah.
And I think Jolene, as a prison break story,
no, he had a very clear goal to start. He wanted to stop them selling drugs to the kids.
He's selling drugs to the community. Yeah, I get it. But he was selling drugs to the community. He wanted to be a gang star. What does he think that means?
It means like you're the cool guy and you get to wear cool suits.
Remember,
Giorno was basically the equivalent of a Sopranos fanboy.
Well, very famously, you remember, like in a lot of kind of the older set Scorsese movies, and like in The Godfather, very briefly, they do this really hacky thing where like the mafia guys are like, "Hey, you getting into the drug business? We're not drug dealers, okay? That's off limits. We just do like murder and prostitution and gambling and extortion and smuggling. But we don't sell drugs to the kids, except for some drugs. We just not the hard ones." And it's like, okay, fuck you, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the point of a lot of those Scorsese, Coppola gangster movies is to highlight that, or at least in theory, it was to highlight that gangsters are actually just a bunch of dumb psychopaths who fucking ruin everything that they touch. But, obviously they're like incredible filmmakers, and so they accidentally ended up making them like look cool, which was a bad decision, honestly.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oopsie doopsie. It just reminds me of like, I watched Whistle last night. I had other shit to do and I threw it on. And it feels incredibly, even though it came out like this year, it feels incredibly dated as like a trashy horror movie, which includes even like an 80s style, like anti-drug campaign.
It's very much in the same vein as, did you see Wish Upon? About the evil Aztec wishing box?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's very funny. Very dumb. But this season has none of that shit. It is literally just, we racing.
Yeah, point A to point B.
We racing, boys. I do wish my only real problem with this episode, and this is a thing that I felt was a little embarrassing in the manga too. We do start with a bunch of Native Americans yelling at another Native American guy that he's running like a white boy.
Yeah,
which is, I wish we could have started literally anywhere else. Not great.
Let's
Arky, your heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
But
hey, listen, they can't all be winners.
It's just unfortunate, But I like that character. I like all the characters in the season. It's good.
Mm-hmm. I like the what's his name? The guy who's like the comic relief. He has to catch up because he slept in and started the race late.
Poco Loco.
Yeah, Poco Loco.
The luckiest man on earth.
I personally have a big affection for luck-based characters. I think that's a funny bit. Obviously, I can't predict the future. If I had to take a guess, I would say probably Jojo wins the race. But I find Poco Loco's bit so charming. I'd put my money on him.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's it's nice to acknowledge that black people exist in America.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Araki, you made up for the Native American thing. We're all good now.
Well, you didn't make up for it, but it's, at least we have a black character whose whole thing isn't that he's like a gangster or whatever,
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah, I'm very excited for this season. There's so much cool shit that happens. I'm biting my tongue not to say some shit because it's just so fucking great. But just buckle in. Some of the best shit that has ever happened in JoJo happens in Steel Ball Run. There's a reason everybody likes this one.
Last thing I'd want to say about Steel Ball Run, last thing I want to point out is that the soundtrack fucking kicks ass. The main theme, I've been like replaying it over and over since.
Really?
Oh yeah, I really liked the main theme for Johnny. I think it's really good. Yugo Kanno's doing a great job.
It's I don't listen to a lot of anime music. I listen to some. There's some good shit. But every once in a while, the playlist of JoJo themes just comes on, and that's good shit. That's some good ass shit.
Yeah.
Okay, less said the better about JoJo, because you know what it is.
Go watch it. It's JoJo. It's good.
You're gonna watch it. It's fucking JoJo. Last time we mentioned going slop for slop.
Oh, okay.
Trash for trash. And now we do have to do it. So I wanna do this. I wanna go trash for trash with you, Nate.
Okay. All right.
Now clearly I'm the underdog here, so I do think I should start.
You are the Baki to my Yujiro in this particular field.
Me? Hanma? Yes. I want to say I'm the Ken to your Ryu.
Sure. Or maybe to my Alex.
Okay. So it's weird to define trash in terms of manga because, like, we talk a lot of shit on this show.
Yeah. No denying that.
We talk a lot of shit. But as I've said in a lot of different contexts, I read all the same shit y'all are reading, even if I make fun of it. I'm out here reading it. I read the trash. I like the medium. I like manga. I like anime. I like manga maybe more than anime, but I like them both. And so I watch the stupid shit.
Yeah. No, I think at this point, I agree with that. I think that I do like manga more than anime.
I like a lot of the bad stuff too. Some of it, as we've talked about, is beyond the pale. Some of it's truly reprehensible.
Yep.
Hokkaido gals.
Oh, you think that's the upper limit for you? That's your barometer?
No, that's just an example. That's just an example of one we've talked about, and I have explained why I don't like it. But there are some that I would not defend that I enjoy. And I guess that's sort of where I'm defining trash, is stuff that I would never really tell anybody.
You would never
like,
volunteer
hey,
that information.
I would generally not bring it up in a recommendation based conversation. But it is stuff that I read. Now I picked a list, and this is maybe just reflective of me, but I did pick a list that I am like ready to defend, even as trash.
Oh God, no! I have a list here. I cannot defend any of it.
You're not going to even try?
No.
I pick stuff that I would try to defend, at least, you know?
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, you don't have to. That's just where I'm
No, it's not that I don't want to. It's I can't.
You can't even.
I can't
not
even.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to hear you try.
All right.
I'd like to see you try.
Oh.
So let me go first. I'm going to go from least offensive to most offensive, I think.
Okay. All right.
How's that sound?
Yes, I think that sounds fine. I'll try and order these in what I can get as close to an approximation of least offensive to most offensive.
Now we have talked about some of these, and I'm sure we've talked about some of yours. And we've definitely talked about this one because my first trash pick is the heavily discussed Kakegurui.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like Kakegurui. It's clearly very, very popular. Lots of people like Kakegurui to the point where they made a bad live-action adaptation. Truly, truly bad one, by the way. Really, really bad. We don't have to go back over it, but...
I mean, we talked about
what
it
a
extensively in the episode, completely devoted to talking about Kakegurui.
Yes, and this plays directly into it because one of our big complaints was it wasn't trashy enough.
No, that was our big takeaway. Go ahead.
Kakegurui is a deeply, deeply sexual manga. It is sometimes uncomfortably sexual, the way that it looks at its female characters and portrays them.
Yeah.
I don't think if we read a straight narrative of Kakegurui, I would not describe it as misogynistic. I think there are lots of strong, interesting personalities. It's a completely female-led series, even though our POV character is a dude. He does sometimes seem to be the only man alive. And he is constantly emasculated by all the women in his life, which I do think is a funny running bit. But the way that the women are shot is possibly the ultimate textbook example of the male gaze. This is trashy. I mean, extraordinarily trashy. If somebody just if I said, hey, Kakegurui is this great sort of death game-ish gambling manga, it's really fun. It's got great action set pieces. It's super tense. The writing is fun. The characters are really unique and varied. And then they picked it up and flipped to a random chapter, and it was like a shot of 4 women's breasts, like that was the only, and it looked like the breasts were the ones having the conversation. I would be like, oh no, sure, yeah, that's a big part of it, but that is a big part of the manga. But no, you got to trust me. I would not have that conversation. I think Kakegurui is great. I also think it is trash.
Okay, so now we're getting into a distinction that I want to clarify. You do say that it's trash, but you also think that it's great. This next one that the one that I'm going to bring up first to kind of counter that is something that is trashy and is objectively bad. Like, I recognize it's bad. It's not well written. The art wavers wildly from chapter to chapter. It has been going on, or it did go on for almost 200 chapters. I would go.
You don't even know where to start.
I'm stumbling over my words here.
He's
No.
sweating so profusely.
You should see the flop sweat on me. No, I would say I'm going to start with Hajimete no Gyaru, or My First Girlfriend is a Gyaru. Now, you may have heard of this one, and this is kind of the, what do you call it? The, like, pandemic hot zone starting point for all of the worst, like, Gyaru-based rom-com stuff of the last, I would say, 15 years at this point. This is the one that started this created the trope of the insular, nerdy, like back of the classroom guy who inexplicably garners the attention of the most beautiful Gyaru in class. This created that.
Bold claim.
Okay, bold claim. I would say
Bold claim.
after doing no research, I'm going to make this claim.
That's fine. We do it all the time.
Yeah. So basically everything that you've ever made fun of me for reading on this show kind of spawned from this one. But what makes it particularly vile is that the main character, as opposed to the more common, like, shy, introverted, quiet-spoken, like, kind of nerd that usually takes the main character slot in all of these dynamics. This dude is, like, straight up and out incel misogynist.
Sure.
Chapter 1, he is literally saying, like, he is the guy at the back of the classroom, like, spouting Andrew Tate tweets, like, to everybody around him.
Sure. These guys tend to be like a death to normies
Well, he uses that phrase quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sure. He is a major, chud, death to normies guy. He starts off openly resentful of not just the main, the main, like, girlfriend character, like the chick that ostensibly likes him for some reason in this story.
Yeah.
But, like, disdainful of women in general, Yeah. He's literally the guy that is okay. So after the main Gyaru character confesses that she just, like, likes this dude for some reason and wants to hang out, and that's it. There's no pretense about, like, oh, they share a common hobby, like, or they are childhood friends, whatever.
We're near each other.
Just out of the blue
we're in
one
close
day.
proximity.
So, hey, we're next to each other. You're kind of cute. Do you want to hang out? And he is just like, no, fuck you, you awful bitch. It's baffling.
She's like, that was so charming when he called me a bitch.
I mean, basically,
I love that.
Yeah. And on top of that, when they do start, like, hanging out, not even dating, just the fact that he is, like, spending time with a woman, he has to keep that fact secret from his other chud friends because, and he is proven to be right, as soon as they find out about this, they fucking ice him out of, like, their incel club.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's tainted by hanging out with a woman. Let's get rid of this guy. It's fucking insane. And it's trashy. And I haven't read all of it, but I've read close to all of it.
You've read a lot of it.
I've read a lot of it.
And you intend to continue reading it.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah. Okay. My next one is something, again, that we've talked about briefly a long time ago. It's called Otome no Harewata Hoshi no Iro, which I don't think you should try to translate.
Why not? What does it mean, Remy?
I don't know. I don't know what that
Remy,
means.
what do the words what do the words mean, Remy?
I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't possibly tell you. This is by Ishito Yuda, who kind of went mainstream sort of recently. He wrote Machi and Obero, which is more of a straight, like, female friends comedy that got kind of popular. I think it was in Manga Plus. I also read that one, and that one's kind of cute. It's about a kind of misanthropic, like, striver, nerdy girl who just wants to be left alone so she can become valedictorian, and a carefree ninja girl who's run away from her clan and just wants to live like a fun life. They clash. It's one of these like clash of personality comedies. They end up both caring about each other. It's very cute. It's as inoffensive as you could possibly get with these kinds of things. But before that, he wrote Otome no Harawata Hoshi no Iro, which is a manga about a man who has sworn interspecies celibacy after transferring to a human alien mixed school.
Oh, Jesus, I just translated the title.
Don't say it. Where all the aliens desperately want to fuck all the humans, and he's refused to do that because he wants a human baby because he thinks that the human race is going to die out because of all the sexy aliens.
This is about the race essentialism guy.
Yes, this is the race essentialism.
I remember this, yes.
Essentialism, yes.
No, I will not fuck my beautiful alien wife.
Yes, and it is insanely horny, as you can imagine. It like almost all of it is like weird sex jokes, but it is genuinely very funny a lot of the time. Like there's lots of really good jokes. This is the one where the joke about the guy having to break the news to the actual cat girl species girl that only perverts like cat ears,
which is one of the funniest manga panels I've seen in maybe ever.
Yeah, and it completely destroys her self-confidence. It's really, really funny. I really like it. There's lots of really good jokes in there. But because it is like genuinely like a censorship's pen away from being like straight up a sex comedy, it's very difficult to talk about it. I mean, one of the characters' gags is literally just that her pussy is always showing.
Wow.
That's just like, that's her joke. I mean, we don't see it because, again, this is not a actual porn. It is, let's say, tastefully hidden all the time, but that is the joke.
Sure. I mean, honestly, that could be funny. Like, that's not so different than the joke about the sexy foreign exchange student in Not Another Teen Movie, where she's just naked the entire movie.
Yeah, it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. It's creepier, though, because it's a manga.
Someone had to draw that.
Well, they have that. There's just that thing about manga where it's kind of sleazy. It just feels sleazier.
Yeah. All right. I'm keeping on a theme here. I'm going to counter that with Kurokia-san wants to lead him around by the nose. Now, this is also a kind of semi-not straight-up sex comedy.
Yeah.
It is, another Gyaru comic, but the central twist, or the central gag of Gyaru inexplicably being attracted to a weird little, like, nerdy guy is kind of flipped on its head, because this is about a Gyaru who, enamored with those kind of manga, wants to do that to her crush, but her crush in the class isn't a, like, weird little nerdy guy. He's, like, a big dumb himbo, and he's, like, kind of like, his, don't speak Japanese, so I can't explain this very well, but his name is a joke on basically a play on words on him being a big dumb himbo. His whole bit is that the phrase they keep using is he's way too straightforward, in the sense that he takes everything very literally. Like, that's his gag. He does not understand nuance or metaphor or simile or anything like that. And so you kind of have this running gag where she does the standard like Gyaru teasing routine to him, and he doesn't get the role in the trope he's supposed to be playing. So he just very straightforwardly like accepts her advances, and that kind of turns the embarrassment back on her. That's the entire gag of the manga.
Sure.
So far. What I find very charming about it is the cast of side characters. The longer it goes on, you can feel the author both becoming more comfortable with the writing. Like in the beginning, it's very much laying heavy on kind of like the sexy kind of not, tamish sex comedy aspect of it. And as the author gets more comfortable with writing these characters and more laid back with what the format is supposed to be, they open up the story to a lot of the side characters, which are all doing like really funny breakdowns of kind of like the ancillary character tropes in these manga. So you have the main gal's best friend, who's like the school princess character and comes from a rich family, but on the side is also an insert of the author of this manga who writes a like shitty Twitter comic version and posts it online. Like
of her friends?
Yeah, of her friends. She writes...
She's doing friend fiction?
Yeah, she's doing friend fiction of the two main characters and posting it online.
Yeah, that's good.
And
that's good. I like that.
And then the main guy, his best friend, who is the actual like nerdy, soft-spoken incel guy. It turns out that he's the misogynist incel, like hates all normies, hates girls character.
Yeah.
But he's also the biggest stan of this online friend fiction tweet comic. And he likes, like, he spends all of his money sending it to his Oshi, who is the author of this Twitter comic, who he doesn't know is his classmate.
Okay.
I think once they introduced that whole gimmick, I thought that was really funny.
I like that. I like that joke. I like that a lot. It's very funny.
But at on the other side, it does still lean very heavily into the male gazy aspects of the whole Gyaru subgenre.
Sure.
It never escapes that.
That's where the trashiness comes in.
Yeah.
Because it's still a Gyaru comic at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite ongoing jokes is his inability to understand like Gyaru slang, because the main Kurokia, the main Gyaru character, she's constantly saying the word Beiru, which is kind of like a slangy verb for like doing your makeup, basically. She's like, I guess a close translation would be saying like, I'm doing my makeup, I'm getting made up. And he doesn't understand what that means and thinks that she is referencing in broken English the Sumerian demon god Baal. And so he has like yeah.
What?
There's a lot of weird wordplay that doesn't really translate well that I've picked up so far, but there's this ongoing like, background joke where he thinks that she's a secret demon worshiper.
Okay, and is that good or bad?
No, I think it's generally funny if you pick up on the wordplay.
No, I mean it for him. Is that a good thing?
Well, in character with him being like very non-affected and kind of not understanding. He's just like, oh well, I guess high school girls are really into demons these days. That's cool, I guess.
Will you? This is a comic that's almost exactly what you're describing. Can you describe the panels that I've just sent you?
Yeah, no, it's basically this.
Yeah.
This is, of course, the comic of I've seen this strip before. It's a guy and a girl arguing. She's saying, "Oh, why didn't you call me yesterday?" And he very straightforwardly says, "'Cause I was jerking off to you." Yeah, this very much a joke that would appear in this comic.
That is from a comic that has a very similar premise.
Last thing. Oh, I was going to say one more thing. One more thing that I really like about this comic is that they do this as a gag, but you get kind of Kurokia's backstory at a certain point where it turns out that she used to be like a little nerdy girl with like the top grades in class until she's like discovered becoming a Gyaru. And after that, all she wanted to do was lie and eat hot chip and be on her phone. Yeah. And I don't think that unironically, I don't think that's bad. Yeah, fuck school. You should just be a punk. That's cool. That's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Actually, that's good because a couple of mine lean really hard into that.
Okay.
Including this next one, which is Nejimaki Kagyu by Nakayama Atsushi. That name is probably familiar because Nakayama Atsushi is not only one of my favorite mangaka, like in general, but is the one who created Suicide Girls.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell
Suicide
yeah.
Girls is canonically the good shit. Go read it. It's awesome.
Fucking good shit. But also he did stuff like Urataro, which is this bizarre version of Momotaro. It's really great. He did like Yureto Hunter, Wantan-chan, Traumeister, which didn't get off the ground. A couple other short ones. There's a really great one-shot he did really very recently called Marimo no Kamieshi, whatever that translates to. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, but it's very, very good one-shot. Got a lot of publicity recently. But one of his longest-running series is called Nejimaki Kagyu, and it's about every single girl in this school is in love with the one male teacher.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, including the transfer girl who is, it turns out to be his childhood friend who swore to always protect him. And it is...
How young are the teachers?
Well, he is supposed to be like right out of teaching school, so he's like 21, You should not be letting a 21-year-old teach high schoolers. If there is only a 3-year gap between you and your student base, you're dead. That's blood in the water from day one. Yeah. It's not good. Not good. And this is why it's trashy. It's because it's basically all of these teenage girls who are desperate, so desperate to fuck this teacher that in fact they all become the cast and huge cast of a shonen manga where they all constantly try to kill each other by developing superpowers.
Okay, well, dramatic genre shift, that's always a fun way to take these kind of things,
Yeah.
I appreciate stuff like that.
And it has like 159 chapters at this point, and it's really great. It's just, again, one of those things where if you tell somebody the story is about all these high school girls trying to fuck their teacher, it's bad. And it's really kept me from reading the story like a bunch of times because it's just like, it's not good. It's icky and not good. And I really don't like the fucking your teacher thing. I find it to be truly revolting.
That actually, that ties into what I was going to bring up next.
Okay.
Kind of in the mirror version of this. This is a manga called Pantsuto.
Now I know that word.
So this is a psychosexual murder thriller about a school nurse who sexually manipulates her male student base, basically into doing like Game of Thrones shit against each other. Specifically, the main male character, he is manipulated specifically through his particular fetish for like stockings and fishnets. Yes. Which, as you can guess, the nurse and inexplicably, most of the female character base wear just all the time for some reason. Yeah, this is about a school nurse who now let me just be clear. She does not fuck the kids.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. In my manga, he also doesn't fuck any of the kids. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, go get good.
There's no relationship with the children. It's just it's a one-way thing.
She is very much portrayed as being in the wrong. She is the villain, a manipulator.
And what's her end goal?
Well, that kind of is amorphous and changes throughout the story. I haven't read all of it, but where I left off, there was a murder plot brewing via this sexual manipulation.
It's getting intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Wow. Let's see if I could do this one. This is a manga called Seishun Bakuso, which again, I wish I could translate that for you. But I don't know what that means. This is by Ken Sogen, who I first started reading because he wrote something called Nakano Boogie Woogie.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, which is canceled extremely quickly. So I think there's like maybe 2 chapters of it or something.
That's how you know it's good.
Maybe 2 or 1 chapter. Honestly, I forget. It got canceled extremely quickly, but I really, really like his art. Looked for more stuff, realized that essentially he had pretty much just done porn up until the point where he got Nakano.
Yep.
You know, didn't look at the porn too closely, but seemed like some weird stuff, even for hentai, some weird shit. But he did start another narrative manga called Seishun Bakuso, which is about kids who don't really fit in at school. Are as lightly as possible I could put that. Our main character is a weird little creep, quite literally, because he takes creep shots of all the female classmates at his school and sells them to the other boys.
Okay, I hate this kid.
Yeah, he's truly awful. He's a really weird creep. He's also like awkward and kind of neurotic.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just translated the title. Seishun Bakuso means youth in full throttle.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever. That kind of explains it. Yeah. He ends up becoming fascinated with a girl who comes to school in a bizarre mirroring of that one shoujo we both liked, where the boy comes to school and he's constantly covered in like cuts and bruises.
Oh yeah. Yano-kun's Ordinary Days.
Yes, she constantly comes to school covered in like bruises and bandages. And he like wonders why. And then he finds out very quickly it's because she is constantly picking fights with every other girl in school, like starting the fights, like not getting bullied. Like she starts the fights with a group of girls and they kick the shit out of her.
Okay.
And then like
someone after my own heart.
Yeah, she's like very over it. She kind of hates school. She hates people. She hates life. And one day, while trying to take creep shots of her after school, they have kind of like a weird inverted meet cute where she falls in the river and he's trying to take pictures of her nipples through her wet shirt. And she's like, "Do you want a closer look?" And like it becomes a weird, like kind of psychosexual circling. I really like this because it is like really hard. They're very deeply unsympathetic characters, but he is trying to explore them in a way that I don't see in any other manga, which includes like these kids like break into, oh, by the way, the kid's older brother was the perfect one of the family. That's where he kind of like got this weird affect of being like a loser, is he constantly had this inferiority complex with his brother, who was like a wealthy, like, college grad who got a good job. And then went to prison because it turns out he was a child pornographer.
Oh.
And it destroyed his family life.
Yeah.
And everybody knows he's the brother of a child pornographer, and so they bully him constantly too. So he turns to this thing basically as a defense mechanism, and then started taking these creep shots. So it's bad. It's a real bad situation for everybody. And he eventually, to kind of like make friends with these other delinquent kids he's trying to like get in the good graces of, he ends up like breaking into his brother's like bachelor pad and trying to like have one of those like awkward teen parties in a very like American comedy way, where he's like trying to get in with the cool kids by like having them come over and drink at his place. But they all know he's a loser, so they just like walk all over him and like do a bunch of drugs and shit at his place. They buy weed and they smoke it in his apartment. And in most manga, like, he'd be like, drugs are wrong, or like underage drinking is wrong. But in this manga, he's like, maybe like getting high and drinking will make me feel better about myself. So he hits the joint and he like gets drunk, and it brings him closer to this girl who also like is hanging around because she just wants to see how bad this can all get for him.
Yeah.
And it's horrible, and it's really uncomfortable for every possible reason I just outlined, but also it's entirely unique. Like, at every time you think it's going to do like a manga thing, it doesn't. It's very weird.
That actually sounds interesting, and something that you just said kind of really resonated with me. In like, maybe that's the reason, part of the reason that we do read all of this trash stuff, is that as opposed to a lot of other manga, it does let us engage with deeply unsympathetic characters in a way that that you don't get to in other stories.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of stories, and this is the trash I don't like, where the characters are deeply awful people, but they're constantly trying to be framed as if we're supposed to be sympathetic.
Yeah.
I think about a lot of these revenge stories, like the bully revenge stories that I hate, where a character is like, I got bullied at school, which justifies me doing the worst things you can do to a human being against my bullies as revenge.
Yeah.
Hey, that's bad. That really sucks and is bad.
Yeah, it's the High School of the Dead, like, power fantasy bullshit that just, it makes you feel icky, that you see someone obviously not dealing with some like unresolved shit on the page,
Yeah, you'll notice those are not on my trash list. I do not read that shit. It makes me deeply uncomfortable.
So, I say that, and now I'm going to follow it up with something that is just completely indefensible. It has no compelling characters. It's not even that they're unsympathetic, is that the concept, the base concept of this manga and what these characters are created for is, I think, going to be alien to most people. And I am absolutely, like, I read this out of a deeply, like, morbid fascination for where it was going to go. Have you heard of a manga called Sweat and Soap?
I don't think so. Sweat and Soap.
Yeah. Now, before you say that this sounds like a completely, niche one-shot for weird perverts, this has going on 150 chapters. This is an established manga.
Wow.
Sweat and Soap is the rom-com story of a woman who has issues with body odor and feels deeply self-conscious about it. And the tall, sexy, handsome CEO of a, like, soap and skincare company who is, let's say, deeply enamored with her particular scent.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
So the base setup is she grew up feeling very self-conscious about the way she smells, and because of this, became deeply attached to this particular soap and like lotion company, which she claims is the only kind of soap that really covers up her smell. So she decides that it is going to be her adult goal to get a job at this company, which she does, and because of this, has a meet cute in the coffee room with the president, who just really loves her funky ass stank.
What?
And he claims that she is inspirational to his creative process, because in addition to being the president and CEO, he is the main flavor scientist for this company. He comes up with all the scents himself.
Dope.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Oh fuck, dude. Damn. That's okay.
Now, before you say anything, I want you to really internalize that this is something that I felt comfortable putting on this show and talking about as something that I've read.
Oh shit.
There is stuff on here that I will never tell you about. Any of you.
I'm sure. And I don't want to hear about it. Well, I have one more, and this is like my deep cut here. Well, not really a deep cut, but it is the one I feel is the toughest to talk about sometimes. And again, this is kind of like Nakayama Atsushi. This is somebody who I deeply respect, and that makes me uncomfortable as well. Now, I put Super Ball Girls by Akira Hiramoto on my list, but mostly it is the entire body of Akira Hiramoto's work that can fit in here. They're pretty much interchangeable. This is the guy you will remember from Prison School, probably most famously. He's done a kind of an insane spread. I did not know about that he was the author of Prison School. I first came across Akira Hiramoto because I was, remember a very long time ago, we talked about Neo Parasite M and Neo Parasite F, the short story collections that are doing tribute to Parasite. All very good. There's like a male and a female version for some reason. I don't really get why, but he did a story for that, and I thought it was fantastic. So I end up looking him up. He also did Me and the Devil Blues, which is just straight up like this manga about like blues music in America in the 30s. It's some of the like most bizarrely transcendent manga ever drawn. It's truly weird that it's a thing that exists and that he did it. It is not like the rest of his work. It is not like Prison School, I assure you. He showed up in like the Ghost in the Shell comic tribute. And then he ended up doing Futari Switch.
Oh, okay. The Futari Switch guy.
Yes, which is my favorite gender swap comedy I've ever read. It's insanely funny constantly. It is also intensely sexual. I also started reading his other works, which included Raw Hero, which I think is also insanely funny, about a guy who accidentally...
You've talked about Raw Hero many times.
Yes, the guy who accidentally becomes a terrorist because he loves one of the heroes. And his most recent work is Super Ball Girls, about a guy who does essentially a reverse Gremlins. He finds a Super Ball that turns into a sexy naked lady. When he kisses her, she spawns a bunch of new Super Balls that turn into naked sexy ladies. He discovers that they're aliens, and he tries to raise them. It goes places that you could never guess in a million years. I promise you. Basically, every chapter is a revelation. But this guy is, and I honestly cannot, I think it is actually part of his sense of humor, how intensely sexual all of these comics are. I think he is doing it not just because he likes drawing sexy ladies in the most intensely sexual way you could possibly imagine, but I genuinely think he thinks it's funny.
He just thinks it's funny.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is. Sometimes he does, like when I was talking about Kakegurui, right? And I said sometimes you can get confused because the panels seem like the boobs are talking to each other. He constantly shoots dialogue from between women's legs with the speech bubbles coming from their pussies.
He's just the living embodiment of the, hey, aren't the camera angles in anime weird sometimes?
Yes, he pushes that so far past the limit that it is genuinely hilarious. It is so funny. It's really, really funny. But if anybody saw you like reading this, like on a plane or something, you would be escorted away.
I would put on the no-flies list.
Yeah. I think he is one of the most talented mangaka working. I mean, even from like a joke standpoint, he is very funny. From a writing standpoint, his stuff is really exciting and weird. He's exploring things that other people are not exploring. From a technical standpoint, the dude, he does the fucking work. I mean, his stuff is great. It looks great. But oftentimes his approach and his subject matter makes this stuff feel like maybe you just should not be reading it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I know the feeling all too well, and because I refuse to let you have the last word on trash anime in this episode, okay, I have one more that kind of fits that bill perfectly. This one is called, I don't actually know what the Japanese title is. It's called I Like the You Who Can Have Sex with Anyone. This is I don't even know how to describe it. It is an absurdist humor, like not really a rom-com. It's just a straight comedy, but very weird and mean-spirited. And it is specifically about just an absolute like loser, like caricature of a loser shithead high school boy who's obsessed with sex. And like they don't do anything halfway. Like first chapter, they outline that he is the dumbest guy in his class. He gets zeros on all of his tests, like literal zeros. And he's just one-track mind obsessed with trying to get laid.
Yeah.
And one day he happens to accidentally see the popular Gyaru in his class having sex with another popular boy in I don't know, the gym room or something, the locker room.
Sure.
And that for some reason gives him a complex. I don't know. I guess you would call it like what's the creep NTR? Is that what they call it?
Netorare.
Yeah, it gives him an NTR complex where
are you going with this?
He basically begs this girl to like, hey, is it cool if I just like follow you around and watch you have sex?
Oh man.
Yeah, and just the weird. Oh, she obliges. That is actually kind of like the one interesting aspect I find about any character in this comic is that her character, for quote unquote being like the slutty girl, is very much in control of and like has agency over herself. It's never presented as like from her end, like as leering or coerced or like, like tropey in that way that you would imagine. Like, she's very upfront. She's like, yeah, I just like having sex, and I think it should be casual, and like I'm not really into the whole relationship thing. I just think it's like fun to do. You're the one who's being weird about it, which is absolutely true.
Well, that's true.
He is the one being weird about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it like, it kind of like sets up this relationship where like she obliges him, but also she like kind of becomes friends with him and like recognizes that he is a deeply unhappy, flawed person and wants to like actually make him a better person, not through sex, but like through being just like his friend, because he doesn't have any friends.
Fucking you would not cure this.
And I mean, she gets to that at a certain point, but that actually becomes like a whole kind of catalyst for their relationship falling apart and him going into a very dark area, I'm gonna say, at the end.
Wow.
But like, it is also just surprisingly funny sometimes with the visual gags that they do.
Yeah.
And just the sheer absurdity of his character. Like, I mean, like, he is literally not a person. He is just a sex drive. And the couple times that he does actually, he catches the car, he does actually get laid at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, it after he gets laid, it literally transforms him into a like foaming at the mouth, white-eyed sex monster that just goes around the city trying to fuck anything in his path, like buildings, cars, mailboxes, anything. It's like it crosses the line so many times that you have to laugh at a certain point.
Wow.
Because it does become like increasingly bizarrely like cartoonish. With the
Shout
way
out
they
Golden
go.
Boy.
Yeah. No, that's Golden Boy is much more structured, but I think that they are drawing from the same well. This one just has much more like chaos energy kind of infused in it. But
yeah, people are much sicker these days than they were in Golden Boy's time.
I know, but this guy and Golden Boy are very much cut from the same cloth. And it's something that I was thinking about the entire time that I was reading it. Like, you know what? If we had like some sick like 90s art, like Golden Boy art, these would not be very dissimilar at all. But that isn't to say that the art in this isn't like bad. It's just it's very abstracted at certain points. Not as much as Pannion Stalking, but I would say it's going down that kind of same path. Very minimalist kind of in a lot of places. But still stylized, like not like sketchy. But I read this because someone online described it as the comic where a guy gets cuck powers. He gets cuck superpowers.
Oh man. Okay, wait, hold on. I just a couple that I do not read, but I looked into it because I was curious. The one where the guy comes from the long line of exorcists, and the way he performs exorcisms is by removing the girl's panties. Shout out to that one. Shout out to the one where the girl makes the guy cheat because she's desperate to lick his sweat off his body. She like blackmails him into doing it. There's a bunch I never ended up reading because they were too gross.
All right. Well, we've gone.
Shout out to Jigodaku.
Yeah.
Love in Hell.
All right. We've gone way over time talking about this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
This is why we try and avoid doing like an entire trash episode. There's too much of it.
There's too much.
There's just too much.
I go way down this hole.
But there you have it. There's just the slightest seasoning of the kind of shit that we get into away from prying eyes.
Oh, there's so much. I mean, when I go into it, I don't always do this. I have modes where I do sometimes, but when I go into it, sometimes I feel like I'm one of those baleen whales where like manga is just
you're filtering in all of the stuff, and if some of it is nutritious, then like that's a win.
Yeah.
But it's a numbers game.
I open my gigantic maw and manga just streams in from everywhere and it just slowly gets filtered out. That's how I feel sometimes. I don't always do that, but there are modes where I get into it, usually when I'm depressed.
See, if that's you, then I'm more like the remora that has used the suction cup on my head to attach myself, and I just kind of I kind of grab the bits and pieces of refuse that fall from your mouth.
Oh man. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
I think that's enough
All
for
right.
today.
Yeah, that's enough.
Handsome, tall, beautiful listeners, thank you once again for sticking around.
Yep.
Go do the dutiful listener thing, like, subscribe, hit buttons, ring bells, do the stuff.
Finish up this season because next time we're talking about the next one, the new season. It's already upon us.
Time marches ever forward. It's a horrifying realization.
We're so close to April now.
Okay, well, go feast upon trash. I give you my permission. Read all this stuff. You won't be better for it, but bye.
I avoided the really embarrassing stuff. So.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I'm not putting like the really bad stuff.
I
on here.
held back.
You're never gonna know the really bad stuff that I read.
I don't want to. I don't need that in my head while we're recording.